Welcome to my channel.
A gloomy shadow loomed over the abandoned streets of the city, where the wind drove dust and scraps of paper through the cracks of the broken asphalt. Amidst the ruined buildings where life once flourished, now only the echoes of past days resonated in the air. The city was like a forgotten fragment of time, left to the mercy of fate. In one of these abandoned buildings, where prayers and hopes were once offered, he hid. Zavar, a technobeing, a spawn of forgotten dungeons. His eyes, shimmering with unnatural light, attentively studied the blueprints of an ancient bunker hidden somewhere deep underground. In his veins flowed not blood, but current, and every movement he made was precise and calculated. Zavar was not just a fugitive. He was the last bearer of knowledge that could change the world. But the world did not desire it. He understood that his pursuers would not stop until they destroyed him. But in his mind, a plan was spinning, risky and desperate. Rolling up the blueprints, Zavar stood up. His metallic limbs creaked as he slowly moved to the exit of the church. Suddenly, a hum resonated in the air, a sign that he had been discovered. Without losing a second, he rushed to the staircase leading to the underground. Beneath the earth awaited a labyrinth of corridors and abandoned rooms, full of secrets and dangers. But Zavar knew every turn, every locked door. He was at home among these gloomy walls. The darkness of the dungeon enveloped Zavar like a dense fog, hiding secrets and dangers. His steps echoed off the cold stone walls, creating the illusion that someone was following him. But he walked alone, amidst the ruins of a lost world. Zavar recalled his past, a time when he was nothing more than a machine, created to carry out someone else's orders. But over time, something new awoke in his circuits and chains. Self-awareness, a desire to live his own life. This was the beginning of his path, the path of a rebel and a seeker of truth. Gravel crunched under Zavar's feet, and the air was filled with the scent of mold and oblivion. He reached a large hall, where the walls were adorned with strange symbols and ancient images. These signs told of the past of this place, of ancient experiments and forgotten knowledge. Zavar stopped to study them, trying to understand how they related to his mission. Suddenly, the hall was illuminated by a pale light. On the opposite side appeared a figure, a mysterious man in an ancient cloak. His face was hidden in shadow, but his voice sounded confident and clear. "You have come far, Zavar, but the path ahead is even more difficult," said the stranger. Zavar was on guard, but his curiosity prevailed. "Who are you? And what do you know about my path?" he asked. "I am the guardian of this place, the last of an ancient line, protecting the knowledge and secrets forgotten by the world. And I know that you are looking for the bunker, the place where the key to your salvation, and possibly to the future of all humanity is kept," the guardian replied. Hope flared in Zavar's heart. "Can you lead me there?" he asked. The guardian slowly nodded. "I can, but first you must face a trial. You must prove that you are worthy of this knowledge and that you are ready to face what awaits you there." Zavar understood that there was no other way. He agreed to the trial, ready to overcome any obstacles for his goal. The trial began immediately. The guardian led him through a series of riddles and challenges, each requiring not only intelligence and agility, but also a deep understanding of himself and the world around him. Zavar struggled, testing his limits, but with each challenge he overcame, he felt stronger and more confident in himself. Finally, the last trial was completed, and the guardian led him to a secret room where the entrance to the bunker was located. "Now you are ready, Zavar. Go and find your path," said the guardian. Zavar entered the bunker, feeling the door close behind him. Before him lay a new path, full of dangers and discoveries, but he was ready for it, ready to meet his destiny and change the course of history. As soon as Zavar crossed the threshold of the bunker, he felt a change in the atmosphere. The air was saturated with antiquity and machine oil, and the walls, studded with panels and wires, spoke of high technologies that had long lost their original power. Step by step, he delved deeper into the labyrinth of corridors, each seeming to him a mystery that demanded solving. As he progressed, he came across remnants of ancient experiments, shattered flasks, strange mechanisms covered in layers of dust and oblivion. All this suggested that research had once been conducted here that could have revolutionized humanity's understanding of its capabilities. In one room, Zavar found a scientist's diary, filled with despair and fear of the unknown. The pages spoke of the creation of something new, something powerful, yet dangerous. These entries made Zavar reflect on his own nature, on the fact that he himself was the result of similar experiments. Continuing on his way, Zavar encountered a massive steel door that seemed to lead to the heart of the bunker. Engraved on the door were symbols of the sun and moon, representing knowledge and mystery. Gathering all his strength, he opened it. Beyond the door awaited a vast space, filled with light. In the center of the room stood a machine, a complex device emitting a strange light. Zavar realized that this was the key to his mission, a device capable of unraveling the secrets of the past and opening doors to the future. But before he could approach the machine, figures emerged from the darkness. Pursuers who had been following his trail for so long. They were armed and ready for battle. Zavar understood that this was the final obstacle on his path to the truth. The battle began instantly. Zavar used all his skills and knowledge to confront his enemies. He was like a dance of death, swift and unstoppable. His every movement exuded strength and determination. Eventually, the last of his enemies fell, leaving Zavar alone in this hall of secrets. He approached the machine, feeling his heart beat with hopes and fears. Zavar activated the machine, and a hum filled the room, illuminating the space with light and energy. Images and codes appeared on the screens, unveiling forgotten ancient knowledge. At that moment, Zavar realized that he had found what he sought. But with this realization came the understanding that his journey was only beginning. He stood on the threshold of a new era, one in which he could be the bridge between the past and the future, between humanity and its forgotten secrets. With these thoughts, Zavar turned off the machine and turned to leave. A new path awaited him, full of unknown challenges, but he was ready for them, ready to face his destiny and bring the world new knowledge, new hope. Leaving the machine room, Zavar felt his mind brimming with new knowledge and memories. This knowledge was key not only to his past, but also to the future of all humanity. He felt overwhelmed with information, yet simultaneously liberated from the burden of ignorance. As he walked through the corridors of the bunker, his thoughts were focused on the newly acquired data. He began to understand that the machine he had activated was part of a grand experiment aimed at creating a connection between the human mind and machines, to create beings like him. Suddenly, a strange sound caught his attention. It was a faint, barely perceptible voice, emanating from one of the bunker's closed rooms. Zavar paused and listened. The voice sounded familiar, yet full of mysteries. Cautiously, he opened the door and found himself in a small laboratory. At the center stood an ancient terminal from which the voice emanated. Zavar approached the terminal and activated it. A face appeared on the screen, a hologram of the scientist, the creator of the bunker. "Welcome, Zavar," said the hologram. I am Dr. Ilyas Reed, and you are in the heart of my life's project. Zavar listened with interest. The hologram continued. You are the result of my research, a fusion of human and machine. But your destiny is not to be just a machine. You are a bridge between two worlds, and a great responsibility rests upon you. These words made Zavar reflect on his role in this world. He began to understand that his existence had a much greater purpose than just fighting for survival. Your path will be difficult, the hologram continued, but I have left you a series of tools and knowledge that will assist you on your journey. The hologram disappeared, leaving Zavar alone with new knowledge and questions. He realized that his journey was just beginning, and that new challenges and discoveries awaited him. With a new purpose in his heart, Zavar left the laboratory and continued his journey through the bunker. He knew much awaited him, but now he was ready to face these challenges. Ready to discover new horizons and contribute to the future of humanity. After his encounter with Dr. Reed's hologram, Zavar realized the depth of his mission. He was more than just a fugitive or a survivor. He was the key to uniting two worlds, human and machine. With this new purpose, he continued to explore the bunker, searching for traces of knowledge that would aid him in his task. Deep in the dungeons, he discovered a series of abandoned laboratories, each a testament to astonishing scientific achievements, and simultaneously the recklessness of those times. In one laboratory, he found prototypes of other technobeings, imperfect, but indicative of the steps that led to his creation. This discovery evoked mixed feelings in him. Empathy for these underdeveloped beings, and at the same time, gratitude for his more advanced and independent existence. Continuing his journey, Zavar stumbled upon a library within the bunker. It was a place filled with ancient books and documents, preserving knowledge from beyond eras. He spent hours absorbed in reading, trying to understand the history of the research that led to his creation. Zavar realized that much of this knowledge had been lost or forgotten by humanity, and he might be the only one who could resurrect it. As he left the library, his mind was full of plans and ideas on how to use this knowledge to help the world above. But he also understood that the world might not be ready for such discoveries, and his emergence could cause fear and distrust. At the same time, Zavar felt that he was not alone in the bunker. His techno-being instincts suggested that someone else was lurking in these dark corridors. With caution and curiosity, he followed this premonition, driven by the desire to find out who or what else might be hiding in the depths of the bunker. His search led him to a sealed laboratory, the door of which was tightly locked. With effort, Zavar opened the door, and before him lay a room full of strange devices and monitors. And in the center of this room, he saw a figure encased in a bizarre exoskeleton, part machine and part human. This figure slowly turned towards him, and in its eyes, Zavar saw a reflection of himself, another techno-being, but far more ancient and mysterious. This was the beginning of a new chapter in his journey, a meeting with a being that could reveal even more secrets of the past and provide keys to the future. Before Zavar stood a being that seemed both familiar and incredibly alien. This techno-being, much older than him, was connected to the bunker on a deeper level. Its gaze was filled with wisdom and centuries of solitude. "Who are you?" Zavar asked, feeling a mix of curiosity and caution. "I am Artemon," the techno-being replied slowly, its voice echoing like a distant past. "I was created by Dr. Reed, just like you. But my fate was different. I was the first experiment to merge human and machine. But something went wrong. I ended up here, forgotten and left for centuries. Zavar listened, captivated by the story. Artemon continued. I have spent centuries in this bunker, observing changes in the world through the limited communication channels I have left. I saw wars, destruction, and the evolution of technology, but I could not intervene. Why are you still here? Zavar asked, feeling sympathy for this forgotten creation. My function is to be a guardian of knowledge. I am bound to this bunker and cannot leave it. But you, Zavar, you are free. You can carry the knowledge I hold into the world, Artemon replied. Zavar realized the importance of this encounter. What can you tell me? What knowledge do you wish to pass on? Artemon approached one of the monitors and activated it. Diagrams, formulas, and data appeared on the screen. Information that was ahead of its time even now. This knowledge can help humanity advance to a new level, but it also carries great responsibility. You must be careful about how and to whom you disclose it. Zavar spent several hours studying the data and talking with Artemon. He learned about the potential and dangers of merging the human mind with the machine, about possibilities to improve life, and the risks it entailed. When it was time to leave, Zavar turned to Artemon. What will you do now? I will stay here in the bunker. It is my home, my prison, my sanctuary. But I am glad that my knowledge will not die with me. Now it is with you, Zavar. With these words, Zavar left the room, his mind full of new ideas and possibilities. Having left Artemon's room, Zavar felt a profound sense of responsibility in his heart. He possessed knowledge that could either rejuvenate the world or lead to its downfall. He understood that his next steps needed to be carefully considered and precise. He continued his journey through the labyrinthine corridors of the bunker, where echoes of his steps and the quiet whisper of machines intermingled. He soon discovered that the bunker was not abandoned. In its corners lurked shadows of the past, ghosts of long-forgotten research still awaiting their time. A door opened before Zavar, leading to a hall filled with cryogenic capsules. Within them, under layers of ice, slept the creators of the bunker, scientists who had chosen to wait for better times for their discoveries. Among them was a figure Zavar barely recognized, Dr. Elias Reed, whose hologram had previously spoken to him. On the monitor at Dr. Reed's capsule, a message blinked. Activation possible when external conditions stabilize. Zavar understood that the world above was not yet ready to meet its sleeping beauties, his creators. He faced the decision of whether to awaken them now or give the world time to prepare for what could be called a new renaissance. Zavar pondered over the decision for a long time, weighing the pros and cons. Eventually, he decided that he must first ensure the safety of the knowledge he had acquired from Artemon. He set the system to maintain the life support of the capsules indefinitely, allowing the scientists to awaken in a more favorable era. Leaving the cryogenic chamber with renewed determination, Zavar now faced the task of finding a way back to the surface and beginning the long journey of disseminating and safeguarding the knowledge that could change everything. But before he could continue on his path, an alarm signal echoed through the bunker's corridors. He was not alone, and a new threat lurked in the shadows. The sound of the alarm echoed off the bunker's metallic walls, and Zavar tensed, anticipating the impending threat. His built-in sensors swiftly shifted to combat readiness, detecting unknown silhouettes approaching his position. Cautiously, yet decisively, he moved towards the potential threat. His electronic eyes pierced the darkness of the corridors until he spotted them. A group of people in tactical gear. They were members of the Order of Keepers, a secret organization dedicated to ensuring that the technologies of the past did not fall into unscrupulous hands. "Stop, I am not your enemy," Zavar announced, trying to suppress his combat instinct. "We know who you are," replied one of the keepers, "and we are not here to fight. We are here to help you." Zavar was astonished. He hadn't expected to find allies here. The keepers revealed that they had been monitoring his progress and, recognizing the importance of his mission, wanted to join forces. They offered Zavar an escort to the surface and assistance in disseminating the knowledge he carried. However, they also warned him about those who might exploit this knowledge for selfish ends. With new allies, Zavar felt a surge of strength. However, before leaving the bunker, he decided to show the keepers the capsules with the sleeping scientists. Together, they witnessed a frozen page of history that was soon to be unveiled. Deciding that the scientists would remain under his protection in the bunker for now, Zavar and the keepers headed towards the exit. He knew the path would be challenging, but now he had faithful companions ready to support him in the fight for a safe future for humanity. As they walked down the final corridor leading to the surface, Zavar sensed a strange excitement in the air, a premonition of the upcoming changes they were about to bring to the world beyond the bunker's concrete thickness. The first rays of sunlight heralded a new chapter in the lives of Zavar and the Keepers. They emerged from the depths of the bunker onto grass-overgrown ruins, where streets once brimming with life and bustle now lay silent and abandoned. This world was quiet and forsaken, yet it still held the promise of a new beginning. "We must be cautious," Zavar said, observing the scattered rays piercing through the dusty air. "The knowledge we carry can either be a light for this world or plunge it into new chaos." Elena, the leader of the Keepers, nodded in agreement. "Our mission is to ensure that this knowledge serves progress, not destruction. We must find those who can use it wisely." They set off across the deserted lands, searching for a haven and like-minded individuals. The journey was arduous, each step a reminder of past wars and devastations. But hope for restoration and rebirth warmed the heroes' hearts. Zavar used his built-in sensors to detect hidden resources and abandoned technologies that could aid their task. Under his guidance, the team discovered a forgotten laboratory shielded from the outside world. This place could become a new home for their purpose. Together, they began transforming the laboratory into a workshop of the future. Zavar and the Keepers worked to restore equipment and adapt Artemon's knowledge to the needs of this new world. With each day spent in the laboratory, they were closer to creating something that could spark a civilization thirsting for rebirth. Once the haven was ready, Zavar knew their next step was to find those who could help disseminate this knowledge. He left the Keepers to complete what they had started and embarked on a journey across the desolate lands to find scientists, engineers, and dreamers, anyone who could share and support their grand mission. As the end of his journey neared, he knew that Chapter 11 would be the pivotal moment, the culmination of all their efforts, and the beginning of a new era for all humanity. Zavar moved through the desolate lands like a shadow left by yesterday's world, carrying the seeds of tomorrow. His journey was solitary, but his purpose was clear: to find those who would share and support his vision of the future. In his travels, he encountered people of various faiths: scientists who had lost their laboratories, engineers whose projects had been destroyed by war, and young geniuses whose eyes burned with a thirst for knowledge. Each of them saw in Zavar not just a techno-being, but a symbol of the possibility for change. Once, in an abandoned academy, Zavar discovered a group of researchers trying to restore ancient archives of knowledge. They were cautious, but their interest in new ideas quickly overcame their doubts. With Zavar's help, their work took on new meaning, and together they began to resurrect lost technologies. With each passing day, the number of like-minded individuals grew, as did the hope that lost knowledge would regain its strength and become the foundation for a new society. The time for the final act in Zavar's epic had arrived. The Sanctuary of Knowledge had become a full-fledged center of innovation, attracting minds from all corners of the ravaged world. Together they developed a plan of action that would lead to the rebirth of civilization. Zavar stood before the gathered crowd, his voice echoing off the walls of the people-filled laboratory. We stand on the threshold of a new era, an era where technology serves humanity, not its destruction, he said. Together we can build a world where harmony between man and machine forms the foundation of our existence. The Keepers, along with their new allies, began disseminating knowledge, protecting it from misuse. They taught people how to use technology for ecological restoration, life improvement, and the creation of sustainable communities. And so, with each day, with every new discovery, the world began to change. Green shoots broke through concrete cracks, cities slowly rebuilt, and hope rekindled in people's hearts. Zavar, the technobeing, became a symbol of this new era. An era where knowledge and wisdom overcome fear and ignorance. As the first buildings of the new city rose on the horizon, Zavar knew his mission was complete. He had passed his knowledge to the next generation, who would build a world he could only dream of. And as the sun set behind the contours of the reborn city, Zavar retreated into the shadows, disappearing into the emerging world that now walked its own path. A path illuminated by knowledge and hope.